y'all? My name is Danielle, and we are back with another On Our Radar series. I am super excited to be with the man, the legend, Mvstermind. Welcome, Mvstermind. Thank you for joining me.
Of course,
Taking time out to chat with us
It's a pleasure.
bit. Thank you. So for those who don't know you, just go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Who are you? Who is Mvstermind?
Mvstermind is St. Louis, born and bred, raised artist, creative, yeah, dog. I'm trying to figure out like what my introduction should be,
He
man.
does it all. He does it
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
And it's Mvstermind with a V, by the way.
Flip the A upside down. And
Yeah, genius. So congratulations on your EP, Great, which dropped recently. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So your EP is part of a trilogy of EPs, which in full is Be Grateful, which I think is brilliant, by the way. So what made you come up with that idea, and what does the phrase Be Grateful mean to you?
So the name Be Grateful in itself, it wasn't necessarily a name that I started the project with.
Okay.
I didn't start it with the intention that that this is what I was going to call this body of work that I was working on, things of that nature. And like looking back on it now, I was always like, where in the hell did this come from? And even when I selected it, I don't think I even really knew fully what it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spiritual guy. You know what I'm saying? And I put so much intention in my art and in my music and my life that like I'm like, that mug came from a higher calling into my life so I can be as great as I earthly possibly can.
Nice.
So I can be grateful. You know what I'm saying? And like find that particular balance, because that's what I needed for elevation in my life. That's what I needed to be able to create the gym. That's what I needed to be able to fit the shoes that's been handed to me, you know?
Nice. So we'll get into all of that
Okay.
later on. We'll get into that later on. But describe your writing and recording process for
Woo!
us.
Man, I just miss making music. That's the first thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to say that on camera every single time because I'm holding myself accountable.
Okay.
My process lately, I haven't been writing lately. Crazy enough. I've just been in the booth and just getting in a real nice flow state and just been punching 4 bars here, 8 bars there, 6 bars there, and kind of just entering into a nice little flow state, which I like that category. You know what I mean? Like you hear that's how the greats move. Honestly, that's how majority of the industry moves now too. It's like just some fresh high good energy. I just beforehand, I just make sure I center myself.
Yeah.
Get my intentions together so my brain knows where I'm pulling from.
Yeah.
Center myself in like whatever mood that may be. Like if I'm pissed, center myself in some pissed ass energy.
Right.
And then direct it. But,
Okay. Cool. So it's not as like planned out and methodical. Sometimes it's just like you just go.
Not anymore. Yeah. It used to be really planned out until I realized that like I am the plan. You know?
That's a word right there. That's a bar.
I know. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. That was nice.
Well, thanks. No, like I used to like, you know, the mastermind of like, oh, I got to do da. And it's like eventually you just already are that. So just whatever that you do, whatever that you say next, it's already been built into the shit. So you just go and just do. You just do.
Nice. I like that. I like that. So in addition to being an artist, you are also a husband and a father.
Thanks.
So how do you balance being a full-time artist while also being a family man?
By having an amazing family. And I know that sounds as, I don't know, but by having an amazing family, and I state that to the point to where like, the type of work and lifestyle that honestly both me and my wife do, we're both entrepreneurs. And so that in itself, it takes the meat of the clock in itself. And we've been blessed to be able to have beautiful family members to where like, you know, when we got to bust some moves or do whatever that we got to do, our child is in beautiful, safe, loving, communicative hands. And for me, that even gives me the proper peace of mind while I work. I know that he's not at a potentially sketchy daycare that I hear about stuff on the news, and I'm like, bro, what the? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's learning, he's engulfed, he's around his other nieces and nephews, you know, because it truly takes a village.
For sure.
And some nights are sacrifice nights, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you as a parent, you'd be like, oh man, I want to, like, you know, you mess around and have like some parental guilt all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? And even family will be like, hey, we feel you, we validate your feelings, but like, yo, continue what you guys are doing, because, you know, we understand it and we know it and we trust it. So go do what y'all gotta do.
Yeah. Speaking of family, what is a legacy that you want to leave behind? Asking deep questions today.
Yeah. I mean, so first and foremost, the legacy from the top is just knowledge of self. Knowledge of who you are, knowledge of who your ancestors are, which I'm still working on, knowledge of what they've been through and how, and also what you got to go through to continue to carry that legacy and to do its work. Like that's the highest part before we talk about any money, before we talk about anything. It's like getting deeply rooted into that area and doing some healing. And I think that's the most number one imperative thing. And then from there, you know, you empower. You can go take that power and you know, monetize, take that power and go do whatever that you need to do to actually financially build. Right,
generational wealth, for sure.
That's knowledge of self, and then tapping into that internal wealth and making it permanent in society.
Yeah. Makes sense. So, what is some of the biggest lessons you've learned in business and in music?
It's really good. So this is some good questions. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned is that, you know, I've been self-employed since 2013.
Wow! Congratulations.
Thank you. And the biggest lesson that I've learned is that throughout that token of time, I really didn't make too much music, respectfully. And I'm saying this because, I mean, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying this because I've learned that in reality, like, I built the brand, I built the systems, I put it all in play. And it's still, in the same sentence, it's that reminder of, like, whatever that you are incredibly passionate about, focus on your art. And no matter what, it's going to, like, long term, it's going to give you the shortcut, point blank, period. That's the lesson to an extent. It's like, focus on the art. Focus on the art. Doing it the way that I did, it allowed me to learn the system. It allowed me how to run a business. It allowed me to learn how to do partnerships. It allowed me to get my own buildings, get my own places and spaces. Businessman took me away from the music. Respectfully, they can both exist. But for any type of artist and things of that nature, whatever that it may be, it's like, in reality, if you focus 199% on that particular focus, everything else is going to magnetize, point blank, period. Because I focused on the business, and every fucking thing else magnetized and got me there. So it's just that, I don't know.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on this a little bit in your answer, but, you know, I guess, were there times where you felt like the business was kind of stifling, like, your creativity and, like, the creative side? And, like, if so, how do you combat that? Like, how do you work that out?
Man, so we're working this out right now.
Okay.
But in reality, man, it definitely can, but in the same sentence, business is an art. It's an art. It's an art. It's an art. It's an art. And it's a reminder that, like, you know, naturally all of our careers is going to have us delving into business work, because that's just a part of what we have to do in order to get the particular reach that is needed for, you know, whatever platform that we're pushing. And if you treat it like an art, because if you're an artist or a creative, then it won't be as exhausting, and you'll be able to appreciate it the same way that you create, and you'll be able to creatively like tap into the business world like other people can't, because your mind breathes in a certain way, but because not with the intention of like, yo, I can do what they can't do, but with the intention of appreciating what they do as an art, and respecting it the same way that you want people to respect your art. So you tapping in like you tap into it like the art that it truly is, it'll fill your cup up and it'll keep you motivated. And yeah, you'll be like, oh man, we'll build a business, but let's just make it, put grass on the floor, and let's, like, you can stay in your creativity with it.
Right. Speaking of creatives, you do collaborate with a lot of different creatives. So talk to me a little bit about the importance of building a team and having a team.
It's the number one key. Mm-hmm. I came into this game kind of in isolation, as I produce, I write, I record, things of that nature. And it's a cool world to be in, but the best world is to collaborate. The best world is to have a curated amount of people in the room, to where, that's when your art grows. That's when people say things and that would have never been in your conversation, would have never been in your train of thought, that would have never. It really is, having a room full of mirrors is what it will do. And so you'll see yourself in different angles that you've never seen before, and that's just where you just get all of the growth. And let alone is that cool for yourself. But I'm the type of individual to where, like, honestly, the thing that fills up my cup the most is being able to serve as value for others and their dreams and their passions. Like, that does it for me. Like, forget the accolades, forget anything else that comes in. If I see the fact that something that we have been doing or something that I have been doing allowed for somebody to get to where they were trying to, that's my award. That's I'm cheesing, I'm happy at night, right, because we were able to be of service. Nice. Honestly, that's the same exact reason why I do what I've been able to do what I do. So
nice.
Yeah.
So we are currently recording this interview in the gym. So explain to everybody what the gym is and what services you offer.
Yeah, the gym is a creative space that makes space, tools, knowledge, and resources accessible for the dreamers and the doers. It's ultimately, it serves as like an incubator hub for artists, for creatives, allowing individuals to be able to honestly create whatever that you would like to create.
Right.
Mvstermind, as myself, I've been serving as a lot as like the proof of concept for so many different things that we like. That's honestly kind of how we beta tested so many things. It was like, okay, well, we want to do the live performances that kind of look like colors. So, that was us putting the mic up there, positioning, getting our camera team together, producing the live performance version, you know what I mean? Or producing the podcast and things of that nature. So we started off a lot of different things, kind of just beta testing it straight through the Mvstermind brand.
Nice.
And then it allowed us to be able to have like a modeled business of what does work and what doesn't work, and be like, oh, hey, y'all can do X, Y, and Z, things of that nature. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, resulting in Red Radar being the first actual monthly members of the gym. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was that really meant a lot to me. Aww. Seriously though, it really meant a lot to me. That's amazing. That's so amazing.
So speaking of gyms, what gems would you give to artists coming up?
Focus on the art. Focus on the art. Focus on the art, man. Just become the coldest living, breathing human being and version of you that you possibly can. And when I say focus on the art, I don't just mean like the art and the music, but I mean like the art of your life, like how you live your life and the pictures that you paint in your life. Focus on that. And I state that because the more that you strongly focus on that, and it's going to attract the people that you need. be very attentive about the people that you attract and need. But the more that you focus on your art, that means you're going to appreciate your art, which means that if you appreciate your art, you're going to make sure that you connect with individuals who can help your art reach the masses and things of that nature. Focus on your art, treat it like it's your baby, treat it like it, also treat it like be in the gym with that mug, you know what I'm saying? But just, focus on whatever that wakes you up every single day of your life, and make sure that you can just find a repetitive process to grow with your skills and find ways to rapidly grow with intention.
Nice, I like that. So this question, I'm just curious to get your answer on, but how would you describe the St. Louis sound?
In my mind, the St. Louis sound is freedom. And I state that to the point to where, like, we didn't grow up on the coast.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we was locked into like, oh damn, we grew up on the east, so we gotta have all boom bap drums. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not us if we don't have that.
Right.
We didn't grow up there. We didn't grow up in the South, so it wasn't like, oh shit, we only can have trunk rattling subs.
Right.
Da 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 da. We didn't grow up on the East Coast, so it wasn't like we can only have dreamy music. We had the ability to be able to. We had the ability to be able to pick and choose whatever that we wanted.
Right.
Without having to like represent, without having to do whatever.
Yeah.
And like ultimately it's like this dope mixing, melting pot of like almost every fucking thing, but we own it with like shit. We own it with our lingo. We own it with our grammar. We own it with our confidence. You know what I'm saying? I would describe it like that, because it's morphing and forming into its own right now, in my own opinion. But that's coming from what is now going to be the blueprint, and that came from freedom. So whatever that's about to morph right now, that it's gonna be the same exact thing that people talk about. Oh, that's what the West Coast exactly sound.
Yeah.
That's what the such and such.
Yeah.
We got the freedom to pick. So the rest of that is just confidence and executing, and that's, you see it beaming off of us right now. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And I always thought, even though we say I'm from St. Louis, USA, we are located in Missouri.
What?
And you know.
No, we not.
No, we're not. But I always.
No, facts though.
Yeah, I always, our where we are is literally smack dab in the middle of the country. So like, I feel like we pull from a lot of different places, and that we are influenced by that, but also we, like you said, create our own sound. So I think that's just what makes us different. Like you said, we don't have to sound like this or like that. Like, we can kind of make our own thing. Yeah, and freedom.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So what can people expect from you next?
The coldest music you ever heard in your life.
Period. Period.
No, man. I mean, to be honest, yeah, exactly that. And I state that to where, like, man, I worked my ass off for some years developing systems, and like really, honestly, creating what will ultimately like be the blueprints for independent artists to be able to like go from local to global type situation. We now have that in our back pocket. And I can now go back to being an artist without my world crashing, with my family intact, with maintaining the lifestyle that I would like to maintain, with my health in shape. We now have, let alone our own space and access to different spaces in the city, to be able to freely create some of the best music people have heard, not just from St. Louis, but just flat out. That's next.
That's next. Okay. Well, thank you again, Mvstermind, for taking the time out to chat with me for a little bit. So tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can stream your music, all that good stuff.
You can tap in with Mvstermind any and everywhere, as long as you spell my name properly. So it's Mvstermind, but it's spelled with a V. So that's Mvstermind. It's like an upside down A. And once you type that in on Google, on Spotify, Instagram, Bebo, Black Planet, whatever, it's gonna pop up, and you'll be able to tap into the world of Mastermind and Co.
Period. Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Waiting for the day that we tap, sugar